I will briefly talk about depression and perinatal depression. We all know that depression is a medical condition, and this is a problem which affects how we feel, how we think, and how we act. And perinatal depression is a depression which begins during pregnancy and extends into the postnatal period. Now they have started to use one term for it, which is perinatal depression, because they have found that the majority of the depression, which is we call postnatal depression, it has its origin in the prenatal period. So it is the continuation of the same depression which starts during pregnancy and continue after the baby is born. And therefore the term perinatal depression is now used for both prenatal depression and for postnatal depression. And therefore it is very important if we start the intervention when the mother is pregnant, so that if she is experiencing this depression, she starts feeling better and it does not continue after the baby is born. So the perinatal depression can vary in severity. Maternity blues, almost 80 to 90% of the women, they experience maternity blues. So it's very, very common. And it stays just for a couple of weeks, in which you feel very low in mood, you cry, you don't understand what exactly is going on with you, but it just stays for a couple of weeks and then it simply fades away without any help. But even for those couple of weeks, the support is very important from the family members. So 80% of the women, they experience maternity blues. I was one of them. After my son was born, I also was feeling sad and I couldn't understand that what's happening with me. I used to cry whenever I am alone. And I keep on thinking, why am I upset? Everything is all right. I have been blessed with a healthy baby. I have got support around me. But despite that, I used to feel very, very low. So that was maternity blue. That stayed for, I think, maybe a week or 10 days and then it passed away. At the extreme other end is the postpartum psychosis, which is very severe, but it is rare. So only 1 to 2% of the women, they experience postpartum psychosis, but they definitely need help. And in most cases, they need to be hospitalized as well, because their own life can be at risk, the life of the baby can be at risk. But thankfully, only 1 to 2% of the women, they experience postpartum psychosis as compared to 80% of the women who experience maternity blue. So in between maternity blue and postpartum psychosis is perinatal depression. And in its severity, it lies between maternity blues and postpartum psychosis. And in lower and middle income countries, around 25% of the women, they experience perinatal depression. So our focus is more on the perinatal depression. So some of the symptoms which women experience when they are having a perinatal depression is feeling of sadness, low mood, loss of interest in things they used to enjoy doing. They experience lack of energy. They feel tired. They have trouble sleeping at night. They have problem concentrating and making decisions. They either have loss of appetite or they start eating more. They feel agitated, irritable. They have feeling of guilt, hopelessness, self-blame. They find it very difficult to bond with the baby. They have frightening thoughts of hurting your baby, but they very rarely act upon it. And they could also have suicidal thoughts. So these are some of the symptoms which women experience when they are going through perinatal depression.